Hi everyone, welcome back to our page. I thought I could do something a little bit different today and you could get ready with me for dinner while I talk about content creation. So obviously YouTube is a very new platform for me and I'm learning as I go, but I have been creating content on other platforms for a little bit and thought it might be helpful to talk about what I would do differently if I started social media over. And I definitely think these tips are still beneficial even if you already have a social media page, because better late than never. I know personally I am working on some of these things myself currently that I did not start earlier. So you can always be improving and dive right in. The first thing that I would do differently if I was going to start a social media page is I would build up a little bit of content, whether that is just some B-roll footage or fully edited content, just a little something to start off with. I think that as a creator, consistency is really one of the most important pieces to growing and building a community and getting in front of brands if that's what you want. And starting off, that consistency can be hard to keep up with when you are trying to come up with captions, learning how to create hashtags, learning how to engaging, doing all of that in real time. So to have a little bit of content built up, I think would be really beneficial. However, the next thing that I would do differently if I were to start over is just dive in. I think that a lot of people want to start social media or want to start a business and want to post, but they put it off and they put it off and they're always waiting for something, and you're never going to do it. You just need to dive in head first, and that's really how you're going to learn and grow, is by doing. So while I said that I would want to have a little bit of content built up, don't let that hold you back either from diving in and getting started. Something else that I would have done differently is I would have started making video content sooner. It's kind of very natural to start with photos because most people are already taking photos, whereas a lot of people don't know how to edit content when they're starting out and edit videos. So that's usually a bit more foreign. I absolutely hated making reels when I started out. It just did not feel natural to me, and so I put that off. But I definitely think you need video content to grow and expand your reach. I would also say that in my experience, the majority of requests that we get for brands is video content. We definitely do a lot of photo content as well, but if I had to lean one way or the other, we more often are contracted to do reels. And something that I would do differently when I first started making video content, I wasn't making video content that brands would look at and see themselves working with me. So I just focused on kind of silly audio, and I wasn't really showing products or much of our personality as a page. I was kind of just following along with old trends or things like that. And I noticed a really big shift when I started to make more individual content that showed our personality, showed how we can highlight products, highlighted my dog, highlighted myself, and when I really just started to put more of our own spin on things. And then something else that I would do differently is I would have shown myself more and shown myself earlier on. I've talked about this a lot on YouTube, that this is very new for me, this one-on-one talking to the camera or just showing myself at all. I don't even know how far I was into our page when I first showed myself. And there are a few reasons for this. One, in terms of working with brands and brand deals, showing yourself on a pet page is going to open up a lot more opportunities to work with brands that aren't pet specific. I think that showing yourself makes your content feel more authentic and more relatable. And I know that seeing the person behind the page is something that I have really enjoyed when consuming content. I feel like I know the account better and I know who they are when we go to events. I recognize people easier. I'm DMing someone. You kind of just like make up in your head sometimes what someone looks like or who you're talking to. And it's just like nice to put a face to the name. A lot of social media is obviously behind screens, and I go back and forth with people a lot through email or things like that. So I just think that it's really helpful in developing real connections and real friendships. Something else that I would have done differently, that I do think I did a good job with to a degree, but is not caring what other people think, that is only going to ever hold you back. I personally did not share that I was starting social media with people in my real life. That is something that I kind of kept private because I knew that I would be second guessing, wondering what they would think instead of just going for it. I still did a lot of second guessing when I should have just posted the content and done what made me happy. The last thing that I would have done differently is I would have started looking for partnerships and trying to work with brands a lot earlier. I started this a lot later than I could have. I just wasn't feeling confident enough in myself. I didn't know that creators that had lower followings could work with brands. I didn't know what UGC was, which if you don't know, UGC is user generated content, which in very simple terms is basically when you're making content for a brand. So following doesn't matter in that case. What matters is the quality of your content and your personality and your style of content and all of that aligning. So that's an option for creators with a lot lower following to work with brands. I think that the quickest way to learn how to negotiate and learn terms and just practice your trade is to do it. So I would have definitely started reaching out sooner. This might not be like a paid contract. I could have reached out with brands to partner for a giveaway or things like that. And you just kind of get practice in communicating in that way and in that space. And now I am mostly ready for dinner. So that was great that I could get two things done at once and not have to focus so much on just looking at myself and thinking about what I was gonna say. Off to go do my hair next. But thank you so much for watching. I hope that some of these were helpful if you are looking to start creating content, or especially in the pet space, or if you are just looking to grow and advance. Please subscribe to our channel, and as always, let me know what you want to see because I am completely open to talking about it all. And just thank you so much for coming on this journey with us.